This is the Chef Preserve Compact Vacuum Sealer for food. If you're thinking about picking one up, I just want to walk you through my experience. I've been using this mostly for meat, cheese, vegetables, and a few dry foods. The package I have comes with a handheld sealer and 30 reusable vacuum bags. It does not take up much room, and it has been much easier to store than the larger heat sealing machines I've used before. The sealer is about the size of a large pepper grinder. It feels light in my hand, but it does not feel flimsy. There is one button on top and a suction port on the bottom. A small cap covers that port when I'm not using it. I like the cap because it keeps crumbs and moisture away from the opening while the sealer is sitting in a drawer. Setup was simple. I charged it with the included USB-C cable, put some food into a bag, and closed the double zipper with the little sealing clip. Then I placed the machine over the round valve and pressed the button. It removed the air and stopped by itself. Most bags take around 5 seconds to seal. Sometimes it takes a little longer if the bag is very full or if I do not place the suction port directly over the valve. There was a small learning curve, but it was mostly about getting the bag closed correctly rather than learning how to use the machine. The double zipper needs some attention. I run the clip across it more than once because a small open section can let air back into the bag. I also try to keep food away from the zipper and valve. When one of my bags did not hold its seal, I found a small amount of food near the valve. I cleaned it, dried it, resealed the zipper, and the bag held the vacuum after that. I've had good results with chicken, beef, fish, hard cheese, nuts, and chopped vegetables. The bags become flat once the air is removed, so they stack more easily in my freezer. That has helped with freezer organization. I can also see what is inside without opening anything. The food has stayed in better condition than it did in regular zipper bags. I noticed less ice forming around meat, and cheese did not dry out as quickly. I still label everything with the date. Vacuum sealing helps with storage, but it does not replace normal food safety or proper refrigeration. I was concerned about battery life before using it because I did not want another kitchen tool that needed charging every few days. That has not been an issue for me. I can seal several bags during meal prep and use it again later without thinking much about the battery. The company states that it can handle up to 1,000 sealing cycles on a charge, though I have not tried to count anywhere near that many. I just charge it through USB-C when the battery gets low. The 30 bags give me enough capacity for normal weekly meal prep. They are reusable, but cleaning them takes some time. I wash them with warm water and dish soap, then leave them open until the inside and the valve are completely dry. If moisture stays around the valve, the neck seal may not hold as well. I am more careful about reusing bags that held raw meat. Even though the bags can be cleaned, I do not always feel comfortable using those again for ready-to-eat food. For vegetables, bread, cheese, and dry ingredients, reusing the bags feels more practical. One thing to keep in mind is the suction strength. It works well for firm food, but it can crush softer items. I tried it with soft fruit and could see the fruit starting to compress. Bread can also lose its shape. I now stop before removing all the air, or I use a rigid vacuum container when I need to protect something delicate. Liquids are another limitation. I would not use these bags for soup, stew, or a wet marinade because liquid can get pulled toward the valve and into the machine. Compatible glass vacuum containers make more sense for that type of food, but those containers are not part of this 30-bag package. That is an extra item to consider if liquids are a big part of what you plan to store. Compared with a full-size heat sealer, this takes up far less space and does not require cutting rolls of plastic. I also like that I can open a bag, remove some food, and vacuum it again. With a heat-sealed bag, I usually have to cut the top and make the bag smaller each time. The trade-off is that a traditional heat sealer creates a sealed edge that requires less attention. With this system, the zipper and valve need to stay clean. If either one has food or moisture on it, air can slowly get back inside. I usually check the bags a few hours after sealing them, especially when I am storing meat in the freezer. Daily use has been straightforward. I keep the machine in a drawer, and I keep the clean bags standing upright in a container. When I have leftovers or divide a large package of meat, I can seal everything without clearing space for a large appliance. The automatic shutoff also means I do not have to guess when the air is removed. I think this makes sense for someone who meal preps, buys meat in larger packages, stores cheese, or wants flatter freezer bags. It is also useful in a small kitchen, an RV, or anywhere storage space is limited. It may not be the right choice if most of the food being stored is liquid, very soft, or delicate. My experience has been positive, but it does require careful bag closing and regular cleaning. I like the small size, quick operation, and reusable bags. I do not like having to make sure the valve is completely dry every time, and I wish soft foods were easier to seal without changing their shape. I would recommend it to someone who mainly wants to store firm foods and does not want a large heat sealing machine. Just be realistic about the bags. They need to be closed carefully, and they will last longer if they are washed and dried properly. If you have questions about how I used it or what kinds of food worked for me, leave them in the comments. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Chef Preserve Compact Vacuum Sealer for food. Thank you for watching.